KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KCCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for coming to join us in this great streaming. I can't think of anything streaming.
You know it's podcasted too, Cindy. You know what podcast is?
Do I know what a podcast is?
Do you know what a podcast is?
It's where you don't see things.
Cindy, what I love is that you hopped in. You had no plan. You jumped into that intro and you did not know where you were going. Welcome to this beautiful
streaming
convergence of media.
What scares Cindy the most right now is she is AI now.
Oh, she's chat GPT.
You
Cindy.
are now part of the AI
I'm a bot.
collective.
I'm a bot.
Cindy, will you write me my book report from 10th grade, please?
Are you into that? Have you been there?
I've messed with it a little bit. I mean, I'm aware of it, and I have played around with it just because it seems like it's the end of the world, and so I wanted to go check it out.
Yeah.
And I'm a minister by profession, and so in my mind, I'm like, okay, let's see what it can do here. So I went on there, and I said,
Chat GPT.
Yeah, and I said, type me or create me a 10-minute sermon about John 3:16. And I'll tell you, it pumped out like some stuff you could stand up in front of a group of people and read, and they'd go, "Oh, wow, that was really good." So if you ever get asked to like teach a class or anything like that, just chat GPT, type it in. It'll produce exactly what you need, and you go from there.
I'll still say,
do you want for Austin 3:16?
Yeah, for Austin. Yeah, you could do Stone Cold. Write me a speech in the voice of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I know you may be totally confused, but you are listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. Yes, you are. And the voice that you heard was a little more male, and that's Connor Halstead.
A little bit more. Yeah, just slightly.
He's an owner.
He's
a male owner.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm glad to be here.
I'm going to get Cindy so good today. I'm going to get her so good.
Y'all shouldn't talk before the show because it loads Dick up with ammunition.
I love you, Cindy.
Stop it. Okay, all right. Okay. Connor Halstead is the church life minister at Conroe Church of Christ.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about his exciting job. And then we're going to talk about his most favorite Easter memory. And I know that Richard didn't have any, but he may join in because he's got a mic right to his face. I knew he was going to become part of this show.
Does he not normally join in on the show?
No, we'll have a show just between he and I that we'll talk.
Okay, but if there's a guest, he's not supposed to talk.
Yeah, he's not.
So what's the deal, dude?
Connor and I used to have a show together, so I feel like I'm allowed to do this.
That's true.
You want to reminisce, I'm sure.
For a long time, me and Richard did the Ticket Stub with Chris Appel. You can still listen to it. Do you know sometimes you accidentally will post other things onto that channel? Like every now and then I'll pull my podcast up and it'll say like new episode from the Ticket Stub, and I'm like, what the heck? Have they restarted this thing without me?
Unfortunately, some of the shows we have start with the T.
Yeah.
So when
there's one called like Texas Ticket or something.
Yeah, Texas Ticket, and then there's what's the other one that has a T in it? But yeah, they're all right next to each other. So when I just click it, and I'm like, oh, didn't even know.
Yeah,
so,
but there's no new episode.
I can delete the podcast if you want me to. That would would prevent me from ever doing that.
I mean,
again.
It's for posterity, though. I mean, we got like 100 and something episodes.
I know. I miss it. I want to talk movies with Cindy, but Cindy's movie choices are so weird.
Yeah, what's the most recent movie you've seen, Cindy?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Nothing.
I can't remember.
Well, part of the problem for me is I don't go. I used to go to the movies like once or twice a week. I went to about 80 movies a year in the theaters, and now I go to about one a year. So it's really depleted my. But now I watch streaming. I mean, I'm pretty. I'm at home. And I'm watching a lot of streaming, and that's gotten so much better. So I'm up to date on shows. Probably more shows than movies nowadays. But
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I'm watching Ted Lasso.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I like Ted Lasso. My wife does not like him. I think she brings like real life stuff into actors. Like if she doesn't like a person for
what do you do? What do you do?
Usually, I think he's a bad husband or something.
Is he on a list?
I don't know. I think he's a bad boyfriend.
Have you ever watched Ted Lasso? Yeah, that's good. There's another Sam and I. That's the greatest bonding thing because we find one that we like, and usually Chad's like, "You got to watch it. This is just y'all would love this," and so we start watching it, and I do, but I just go to sleep right in the middle of it. It's like
Yeah,
I
you miss it
can't-
every time.
I can't stay awake.
Yeah, it
till
takes
like
you 4
10
days
o'clock.
to watch the full show. Well,
Yes,
Ted
it
Lasso is
does.
usually only a half hour, though, right? Or is it an hour?
No, it's an hour.
Oh, it's an hour.
And-
Okay,
yeah,
well,
they're all an hour.
yeah, that's a pretty good one. I like that one. And then
That's not a movie.
it's a show. That's what I'm saying. My movies, I'm not watching.
Yeah.
I'm not watching a lot of movies right now. I'm watching more TV shows. So it's a little bit of shift.
But I hate when they end. It just is like, it's so horrible to have to try and find another series.
I know you get so
I
invested.
Just keep going.
You get so invested in it. Did you watch the zombie one on HBO, The Last of Us? Did you watch that?
No.
Do you have HBO?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to. That's pretty good. I like that show a lot. That,
HBO Max.
yeah,
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I think. But it just ended. The first season. They're gonna have a few seasons of it, but it just ended. It's based on a old video game, or I never played it, but I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good show though. I liked it a lot. Do you like zombies?
No, I don't like zombies.
Okay.
Well, they're
Sorry.
not. Well, they're not zombies like you.
They're fungi.
They're fungus-controlled people.
Fungi.
It's
Yeah, they're-
it's science. It's
oh,
science.
They're,
Don't worry.
They're fungi owners.
Yeah. So, yeah. Cindy, I told you that you were going to steer the ship wherever you wanted to go, and I'm
And
doing it right now, and so I
No,
apologize.
you've got to set the sails. I have nothing to say. I just I sit here and go like, that's funny. Okay, all right. Anyway, so your favorite, fondest Easter memory is what?
Well, Easter right around the corner. It's this coming
Right.
Sunday. I don't know if everybody listens live or after the fact
It
or
is?
what. It is live. Okay. Well, my favorite.
This Sunday.
Why do I
Thi-
think it was next Sunday?
Oh, it's because you need to get yourself back into the church, Richard, where you would be
Yes.
reminded of what's coming up.
What's coming up?
But Easter's this Sunday. You know, get a basket, get a bunny suit, get some of the little hay or whatever they put in the bottom of it. Favorite, fondest Easter memory for me. And I may be like, you know, sometimes your mind like joins more memories into one. Like it's like, but we would always go to my grandma's house, who lives in Oak Ridge, and we'd go over there, and she had like about an acre, a big yard, and we'd eat a huge meal. You know, most of my fond memories surround a massive amount of
yes,
food,
yes.
and so we'd eat like ham or whatever else, and then, you know, they'd go hide all the eggs out there. And what was always funny to me, especially like when I was not a kid, but like not a teen yet, like maybe 10, 11, 12 or whatever, we'd go get all the eggs, and then we'd be like, "Was that all?" And the parents would be like, "I don't know, maybe." And I'd be like, "How could you not remember where you put them all?" And then now as a parent, hiding eggs for kids, it's like, where did we put the other ones? You know,
That's
I think there
right.
was a couple more out there, but I can't fully remember.
So in a few days, you'll start, following the smell, because I put, you put real eggs out that were,
Yeah.
and those, would sit around and it would be awful. But I now remember back when I first got married, and the kids were wanting to go east, do the egg thing, and I forgot to boil the eggs. So I went ahead and just put the regular eggs
You just put
in there.
You just
and
put eggs out there?
Yeah, and that wasn't because they stepped on them or they throw them.
Seems like you would crunch them. Yeah, seems
yeah.
like you would.
And they had more fun throwing the real eggs to each other. It was hilarious.
That might
was
explain something
fun.
about the family dynamic, though. If everybody's egging each other, you know.
Yes.
that's-
Hard-boiled eggs?
no, she didn't boil
No,
them. She just
I
Oh,
forgot
okay.
to boil them. I forgot to boil them the night before. So
It doesn't take that long to hard-boil eggs.
it takes 10, 12, no, it takes about 17 minutes.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, but you made it sound like it's an overnight process.
Well, no, I mean, the
We have
night
this little egg
before,
thing. Do you have
it-
one of these little egg things where you can put the eggs on there? That may
That
be a new
sounds-
invention. That may be a newer invention. But you put the eggs
Yeah.
in the little
Put it in a
cone.
microwave or something?
Yeah.
Well, it's like a little. It's its own little appliance. But you put the eggs in there and you put the top on.
How many hard-boiled eggs are you eating, dude?
Well, I used to eat more, but not that many. But you can, like for Easter, you could do this. You put them in there and it boils them in like 2 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's real crazy.
But it's usually for taking the shell off of it. It's real fast.
Well, maybe it does that too. I don't know. This thing is like a boiler.
You don't do the
Yeah.
blow method where you put like, is it baking soda or baking powder in the water?
Mm-mm.
And then you do a little hole and then you just blow and it shoots it out?
No.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh man, I need to
No.
Google that. I don't even know about that one.
No,
Because the worst part of hard-boiled eggs is peeling them. If you're talking about actually eating. them.
Right. But if you do this with they're warm, they're really warm. You're
Yeah.
holding them and they're warm, and you put them under the water and you keep the water on there, and then you peel them. The water gets underneath the peel and it helps it come off.
Got some hot egg talk. What other egg tips do we have for the people,
Okay.
Cindy?
Well, we're gonna go straight to how to get rid of the skunk smell.
Well, what about What about your favorite Easter? You didn't even do your favorite Easter. What?
I did. My favorite Easter.
Oh, throwing
was,
eggs at each other.
Yeah,
That's right.
throwing eggs
Did
at
you
each other.
ever? Did your family celebrate Easter? Did you have?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We did celebrate Easter.
That's good.
Thank
Do
you.
you have a favorite
We
Easter?
grew up very religious.
Yeah.
I went to basically church every day until into college. So get off me.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, then remember when Easter is. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know.
Well, I guess where I get confused a lot of times.
You
like,
probably about Orthodox
Well,
Easter.
it's Palm Sunday is what throws me off.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Palm Sunday is always the Sunday before Easter.
Correct.
And I didn't hear one peep about Palm Sunday. And
Ah.
usually I hear a lot of peeps about Palm Sunday. Because everyone wants to get their leaf cross, right?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Their palm cross.
Yeah.
But
Palm cross.
Okay. So
you don't remember that? Does your church not do that? I would.
I'm not
well,
Catholic.
well, one of my
That
favorite
was a
memories of
Catholic
Easter is there's two memories. One is actually with the eggs. Is for like we used to get together as a family. There's about 40 of us, and every year we do it at my grandmother's house. And then now we're all adults. I swear, one time I'm helping my grandfather do yard work, helping him with stuff, and I found an egg.
Oh, no. From when?
Oh.
No telling. And I was like, "What's in it?" And you open it, and it's like cobweb, like it was like chocolate fungi. It was awesome.
Some animal had made that their
And
home.
I was like, "How does no one find this after all those years that we would do it there?" And then my second favorite
great.
memories are always going with my friends because at one point at my age, my parents let me do whatever I wanted. And then it was like, I'm going to go to church with this guy. So I went to church at a Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I did, because we grew up Presbyterian. And then I went, the Protestant. And then I went to a Mormon thing. Mormons don't really celebrate. They're weird.
I'm not sure what they do for
Yeah,
Easter. You probably shouldn't say they're weird. That's mean. But
Yeah.
Oh, they're weird. Like,
well, they're weird.
like they somehow, like they're like halfway into the Bible, but halfway out. And like,
Right.
They've got some other
'Cause
stuff.
Easter
Yeah,
and
they got
Palm
the Bible
Sunday-
plus.
'cause
The Bible
always-
plus other things.
because I always felt
Bible
Easter
plus.
service and Palm Sunday service, some churches do one or the other really big, and the other one is just like traditional. It's like they like for some churches, Palm Sunday is huge.
Okay.
It's like the biggest thing where they're freaking out about.
Connor,
Yeah.
tell them what Conroe Church of Christ did for Palm Sunday.
We had I would say a pretty normal worship service, don't you think, Cindy?
The prayer walk you had.
Well, during the Bible class hour,
Yeah.
instead of Bible class, we had a prayer walk where you could go around. It was basically like a Stations of the Cross type deal for somebody who maybe is familiar with that. But you go from area to area, and you kind of experience in 14 stations
No donkeys though.
No, there was no donkeys, unfortunately. But over 14 stations, you kind of experience the last week of Christ's life leading up to the cross is basically what you want to do. And then you leave it there. And then the next week at Easter, you celebrate the resurrection.
the resurrection.
Pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty
And that's
depressing
why
too.
that's a
Well, it's
happy,
definitely, there's a tension there between the joy and the sadness. And I think it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Because that's how life is too, right? Like
Right.
there's moments of great excitement and joy. And then there's moments of...
I gotta ask this is for both of y'all. When it
Uh-oh.
comes to, because you used to be a youth minister at
Correct,
church,
yeah.
and then Cindy's raised children. Have you ever encountered a child who like wants to grow up to be Jesus?
like actually to be... Like you
Like
want just
that,
to be
you know,
perfect or just...
Well, they're like, "Hey, I want to be a fireman," and it's like, "No, I want to be Jesus."
No, I've never experienced
I always
that.
well, because like the Palm Sunday thing always threw me for a whirl because you're like, all right, so this is the day before. This is the Sunday before he gets like killed.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is wild. Like, why do we remember it on this day? Like, this is weird. And then what you guys do, like you just described, you do like each section because there
Yeah.
really is historical stuff
Yeah.
about Palm Sunday.
Yeah.
And then the more I read about it, like, this is so crazy. Like, why are we celebrating? Like, this is like getting in the mind of the killers. Like,
in the mind of the.
Well, for those that believe, I mean, it's leading
I
up
get
to the
it,
biggest moment.
but-
Yeah. So and you kind of, again, I mean, it's like the ability to do something that was really hard.
Yeah.
And that being part of the reason that makes.
because he knew going up before he got on the donkey.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
if you know.
Well,
If
in
you
the
believe,
garden-
he knew at the beginning of creation that it was
Yeah.
going to be the ultimate place he ended up. But
But he got to a point which just causes Jesus to become very human. We understand the human side of him when he went to pray.
Yeah.
And he asked the Father. He asked his Father, he says, "Any other way we can get around this?
No,
Let's
that's
do
why.
that.
That's why he hooked up with
But if
Mary.
you don't want to, I'll do whatever you say."
That's from what I understand historically. That's why he just committed to Mary because he's like, my dad threw me on their bus. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Are you talking about the Da Vinci Code or something?
I'm talking about
talking
Mary.
about?
I'm talking about when he hooked up with Mary.
Mary,
Yeah, that's when he just committed to Mary after he had his conversation with his dad. He's like, "You're not gonna help me out. I'm gonna kind of do whatever I want then."
Yeah. And then he had Tom Hanks was his great
Yeah,
grandchild or
something
something.
like, I think it was Forrest
are
Gump.
you
It was
talking
Forrest
about?
Gump.
I'm going, what Bible version is that in?
Yeah.
What
It's,
do you-
Russell Crowe was his uncle. Noah, is the timeline right?
Yeah, yeah.
timeline.
All you need to watch is Noah, Darren Aronofsky's Noah, and then Da Vinci Code, and then Forrest Gump. And I think you'll pretty much understand the story.
Yeah, and Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
And Passion of the Christ.
Now, you know they're making a sequel?
Is that? I heard someone say that, but I thought it was maybe a joke.
Is he coming back?
No,
Is
I
that
don't.
what-
Well, see, people like to say sequel as the joke, but I think it's the same universe, but probably a different story of the Bible.
I know
if
that
had
the
to
guys
guess.
who've done, there's that show, The Chosen, that
Yes.
it's not a TV show, the internet show, the
Right.
serialized show, and those people are trying to make a movie, and so I don't know if that's what it is or if those are two separate things.
Well, I know Mel Gibson is doing something
Okay.
with his the religious side of himself.
Okay, well that would be a different thing
So
then.
he's but
Maybe
people,
following a different
people,
storyline.
people are calling it a sequel as like a joke, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's definitely doing something.
Well, it could be a comeback story, but you know what kills me is in that trailer that they play constantly about The Chosen.
Yeah.
The one that's coming up.
I haven't heard
Is
of
when
this.
is when they say
It's a
when he says they're talking about leading up to this time, and the Pharisees are going, if you don't stop talking like that, if you don't stop that, we're going to have to call on the law of Moses. We're going to have to enact that. And he looks at the guy and goes, I am the law of Moses. that is
kind of
so
his mic
cool.
drop moment.
Yes, that's
Dick,
high
it's like
drama.
some guy kind of crowdfunded it, or I think at first he paid for it himself.
So let people know it's not the one you find on Peacock.
Yeah, probably not on Peacock. I don't know if it's streaming on it's online.
Hulu. It's on
Hulu.
Hulu,
That's
yeah.
what it was. At first, it was just on its own website, but some guy just made it, and basically he takes the stories of the Bible and dramatizes them, and it's not. He adds for sure. It's not just he's not just reading the words of the scripture only. So there's a lot of things in there that may or may not be what actually happened, but just trying to add.
I found it.
Trying to add maybe for people that have read the stories but don't understand how it could have actually happened or what it might have been like. It's trying to flesh that out a little bit more.
Well, they probably talked to, the historians who said, if this happened, he probably would have done this or that, that kind of thing. And the probably comes out in it. But that's interesting to me, because how do you research something like that and stay? Well, I don't know. Y'all do that every Sunday. Whenever you do a sermon, you research out your subject matter.
Well, you try to.
But you go and try and find something that maybe people didn't consider, about it.
There's there's an element of trying to look at things from a different perspective. So something that's really well known, if it's a principle that everybody already understands and you get up there and say it again, that can have some value because it might remind somebody of something they've forgotten.
Right.
But if you can find a way to say something in a little different way that might resonate, like for example, I have a just turned 9-year-old son, and he's playing Little League Baseball, and I'm coaching his baseball team. We're 6-1, by the way. The Pirates.
He's
Gonna
lost?
throw that in.
We lost one game. Yeah.
Was it the ref?
The umpire in baseball. Yeah, the umpire. But I'm gonna blame him for it.
Kick dirt at him?
I got thrown out of that game,
Yeah.
ejected. But I was thinking about this the other day in baseball. When you're training someone young how to play, you tell them something, and it doesn't. Especially a little kid, like they don't understand it.
Right.
And so then you try to tell them something in a different way. Like if you're saying, you're trying to get them to have the right swing, and you may say, you got to watch the ball, and it's like, okay, well that doesn't work. Then it's like, well, turn your head to watch the ball. Well, that doesn't work. And it's like, well, try to twist your back foot to watch. It's like you try to come at it from all different ways so that then maybe something will click and they'll understand it. And I think that it's some of that same thing as what you're saying, which is that you try to come at things from a different perspective, maybe that will help somebody who didn't understand, or they understand but they haven't really done anything about it. And so you try to you could call it research, I guess, into all different avenues, either pop culture things that might help, or maybe not pop culture but relevant things that might, or stories from the past, or ancient things. You try to bring in any of that could be beneficial.
Well, I know when y'all do stats, and you're doing a lot of data that comes across, and you go, that's real, because the numbers are so different. As Sam would always go, they didn't have that many people on the earth. They couldn't have had thousands of people die, or they couldn't have
In
done
horrible fashion.
He would say, and I said, well, you don't know that. How do you know that? That's something you have no idea about. He goes, just to think about it.
Yeah.
If he created this and this, you wouldn't have that much time to have that many people on the earth. And I said, well, they were coming, they were coming from heaven. He had to bring them back out from heaven because they got too friendly with the Earth girls. And so there's things that
The old Earth girls.
Are we talking about the Jim Carrey movie?
I don't know what.
No,
Earth Girls Are Easy?
The sons
You
of
ever
God.
seen that movie?
What movie is that?
I think it's called Earth Girls Are Easy. Like one of Jim Carrey's first film.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
that
right.
one. I don't know that one.
No, that's
I think
true.
Cindy was in it.
Shut up.
She was signing in the back bottom corner.
I'm much more difficult. But anyway, the thing about the sons of God, about
Yeah.
being attracted to the women.
Yeah.
And he
Some of that's pretty confusing. I mean,
and
you
he
know,
didn't
it's-
like it. And he
yeah.
said, okay, everybody back on the ship. Come on
Yeah.
back up. Because it wasn't working out
Another
with them.
ship?
I would
And
say when you look at the first 11 chapters of Genesis and you compare them to, what a modern historian would say, there's a lot of people that try to do a lot of different things to bring all that together, and some of it, we don't have to go into all of it right now, but some of it's like it's hard to make all of it line up exactly right.
Right.
You know, I mean, you're talking about somebody writing something thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and
Then someone interprets that.
and someone interprets it,
And then again-
now we're reading it and we're going like, okay, do we need to compare this to carbon dating? I mean, and it's like I think we're kind of maybe looking at two different things in some respects.
Well,
but
maybe it's the
There's too many writers, too many chefs in the kitchen.
but maybe you need faith to
Well,
just believe
yeah, I mean,
that this is why
that-
would
that-
God go? Why would God go like you come
I
up
don't
there
know.
to Judgment Day and go, you believed all that? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Get over there.
But how
that
does
doesn't
this
make
tie in with
sense.
Easter bunnies?
That does not
What's the
make
deal with
sense.
that? Is that
I'm not sure what the bunny has. I need to look up what the bunny has
See,
to do.
I have this
That's-
conspiracy theory that all these holidays that have like an offshoot of something colorful
Yeah.
is because the original holiday was because of some, religious or area thing, like a celebration this area did. And outsiders were like, that looks like a lot of fun, but they never let them help be part of it. So like we got to create our own thing. So they can do their own thing, but we can do it on that weekend so we know. So someone's like, oh, they have Easter Sunday with their religion. We're gonna do stuff with bunnies, and we're gonna look for eggs.
But-
and like same thing with Santa Claus. It's like, oh, we do this for like, well, what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Kwanzaa. That's what we're gonna do.
So there's like hijacking holidays to
Well,
have
it's
their own.
just a
Well, I think the bunny and the rabbit was a symbol of.
you can go.
the,
Was it in
I'm not
Genesis?
gonna say the word.
Is that what you're gonna tell me? It was in
No.
one of the books.
No. This was what they brought in as just an addition to Easter, as they thought this was like fertility. The bunny represented.
So why do children pick up eggs? This is getting creepy.
Okay, and then the eggs were the big. They don't.
Are you just making that? Do you actually really know this, or are you just kind of riffing
no,
right
fertility was one of the things. No,
Because I'm like interested to learn this really, but I don't want. But if you're just totally saying it for
Like,
fun,
you're
No,
using
fertility-
words that are like now you're leading me down a dark
No.
path in my mind. It's
The
like fertility, and then
there's the eggs and the.
how far back we going in society
eggs.
where you get married at 10?
So anyway, no, this different symbols like the tree was for Christmas became, the slaves and the people that they were trying to reach to come into Christianity worship the tree. So they use the tree. Well, then let's decorate the tree. Let's make the tree part of Christmas. It'll be great, and that'll be fun. And we bring all those people over.
I was gonna say, hey, everybody listening, read for yourselves about this because I don't know if Cindy really knows. So she's do some googling, some light
Wait a minute.
googling to learn about the history
Wait,
of all these
well,
different
the-
holidays.
I have a fact checker over there.
Well, what I love
Chicks
about
like that.
Easter though is everybody does their own Easter thing. Meaning, like the city of Conroe has an Easter thing, and it's not necessarily a religious deal. It's like everyone can have Easter together. Like
Yeah.
like you were saying, your family grew up doing a family thing.
Yeah.
A lot of churches do their own thing.
Yeah.
Like to bring a lot of like the neighborhood in. It's their way to capture people.
Well, sure.
But
Sure, to
Yeah, we have the nets ready to go. Yeah, we're gonna
giving Connor
capture
a hard
him.
time.
Yeah.
But,
We will not leave here until we have used.
One time I went to a Easter deal and the parents put money in the eggs.
Dude, my
And-
parents used to do that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the main egg would have like a 5 maybe.
Yeah,
and
it's
there'd
like
be- there'd be
coins.
some coin eggs. Yeah, you try to get the coin eggs.
Not this one, throw it.
Yeah, throw it. You got, but
And I one time I went to an Easter deal with friends, and they literally gave them a bag that would probably fit about 6 eggs. And the thing is they put money in the eggs, but everyone can only carry how much the back could hold. So
You can only get like 6.
So you can only have 6 eggs.
So you have to be strategic about
So
which
all
eggs
these
you pick.
kids were like shaking, and you couldn't open it. And what I love is they put like paper in there that you could hear the paper, but it wasn't dollar bills. It was just
These
paper.
are like sadistic parents who were like trying to.
I'm not kidding you. Like I was like, this is kind of funny watching this.
You idiot! You thought
That's
there was
me.
money in that egg? It was paper.
Well, it's
newspaper.
like one of them. I think it was like a coupon for McDonald's McFlurry and stuff like that. So it wasn't like it's like I got you. Like,
Yeah, okay. It wasn't toilet paper or something
no,
like that.
it was there was legit like kid stuff.
My mother, every holiday, she played the money game, and so she would have different games that would cause the most highly competitive people in the world to want to win the money. And then she started doing it where she just throw the money up, and she would stand on this balcony,
Baller.
and she'd throw the money down, and everybody would, you couldn't move.
Yeah.
You had to stand wherever you're going to
The
stand. you have
elbows
to
could
stay
go into
there.
people's faces.
And then everybody would grab for the money. And
She needed to build one of
It
those little
was-
chambers that the schools would have
Woo.
for the fundraiser, where
Oh,
the money cyclone thing. Yeah, you had to grab all as many dollars as you could out of the.
I remember those things. Those.
This
are-
was your grandma?
my mother. My
Your
mother
mother.
would do this. This is how she entertained everybody, and it was very entertaining to watch the greed that just oozed out of the people. Then
It's really the spirit of the holiday, isn't it? Easter. Yeah, let's
eggs,
fight
the
each other
bunny,
for
the-
let's fight each
Yeah.
other for the dollars floating from
No,
the
but
sky.
it was just that would give everybody something to do. It would
Yeah.
just not instead of doing cornhole, and so. I don't know where that come from.
What?
That game
Corn-
that everybody wants to play.
Well, it was when they're slaves.
Yeah, they'd have
and
the tree.
There was a tree, and they.
I imagine.
No,
that,
it was Indians.
I
They had
imagine
corn
that-
in their hand, and the pilgrims,
They
the
tried to
pilgrims
flip
from
the-
their trash ship, they had holes somehow.
Yeah, and they would just try to throw the corn cob
Yeah.
into the. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that it's probably been around for a while, but for some reason, like 10 years ago, it got super popular. I guess everybody wanted to build them, and it's fun though. I don't know. Have you seen it on TV? They have like professional
Yes.
cornhole.
And those people got in trouble because they weighted the way they weighted the those
Deflated the
sacks.
bags or something.
Yeah.
yeah,
Not
Yes.
enough corn.
yeah. They were
not really
they were
corn.
siphoning corn out of
They
the.
use East India corn instead
Yeah.
of native.
Maize. No, they use maize.
native.
They
yeah.
were using ball bearings or something, so it would slide in there. But
I think she's
anyway,
serious.
that was I'm just like the substitute teacher. Y'all get me off the track.
I love
Okay,
it.
so
What's wrong with cornhole? What you got against that?
fondest memories.
Fondest memories of Easter. We're still
of
okay.
Easter, and then how to connect with the children to make them understand the importance and it's not the importance because it should be like not one day that we celebrate, right?
Whatever you're gonna
But
do is gonna confuse
Whatever
them.
we do, but we do the celebration of Christmas and Easter, and I used to go like, "That's so wrong. We shouldn't be celebrating one thing over the other." And until I got old enough to realize it's so great that people even think about the name Jesus. They think about the
Well, you know what
the
blew my
cross.
mind growing up was Hanukkah isn't even the biggest Jewish holiday.
I've heard that.
It's not.
And the reason that it's so popular is because of Christmas. And like,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's another,
Yeah.
and then when I found that out, I was like, well, so why don't we know about your other ones? We're
it's
talking
actually
about,
like
buddy.
it's like a pretty far down the list, I think.
Yeah,
As
and
far as Jewish
they
holidays go.
my friend basically told me it's because we're not Jewish and then we can't know. And
'cause-
I was like, that's weird.
Because like Passover would be their
know.
biggest one, I think, which is right around now also.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, there's that in Pentecost. I mean, there's a bunch. There's like 4 or 5 that are their very biggest ones. But
Yeah.
but yeah, for whatever reason, maybe just because the percentage of Jews in the country is pretty small, maybe that's why it doesn't, or because of the Christian heritage of America that those
But
have.
imagine the drama to the Passover, and how that was. I mean, to relive that every once a year, and think how they had to stay in their house, and they were
you
told.
gotta relive Jesus every year.
No, I'm just talking about this. How dramatic this was as a holiday
Yeah.
is because they had to be
There was no bunnies and eggs or
no
anything.
bunnies, no eggs, and they didn't know what was being painted on the front of their door, or understand that the angel of death is going to come and paint, this so that they don't come in and do anything to you.
Yeah.
To save you. And I was just, I don't know, but I keep harking back to the story. Oh, hey, now I'm going to have to say it.
Uh-oh.
The story of the girls who had oil, and they didn't save the oil. They let the oil burn, and then when it was time for the wedding, they came to the door, and they didn't have the oil, and so they weren't allowed to go on the wedding. I feel like that every Sunday because I'm late getting to church. And
She is late
and the doors are locked, and I have to find somebody to open the door.
You actually lock the doors?
Well,
Yeah.
for security, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like 15 minutes into the service, we have police officers on site all the time.
Why do you think you're so wanted?
Well, we don't think we're wanted, but just in the current
And this is
climate,
this is just Easter?
all the time, every Sunday.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, you can always come in, but
I
you.
feel like I've been asleep for like 20 years.
Yeah, I think it's probably not that uncommon for churches
No.
that have the means to afford to pay security
Yeah.
each week. So we have officers. We always have 2 uniformed officers, and they kind of stay in the main entrance, and then they walk the circle. We got kind of a circle hallway or whatever, and they walk it every so often. And all the doors are open for up until about this is gonna make Cindy look bad, but about 15 minutes into the service
So you weren't
starting.
just late.
Yeah,
You know why she does that is so she can miss the donation box.
yeah. She doesn't want to feel
When
obligated.
they do would y'all pass it out on
well, not
plates?
since COVID, we don't. No, we have
No.
we have boxes in the back that you could.
You have the QR code.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Venmo us if you'd like. We do have an online.
That's
we
why
have-
Cindy's late though, because she's so used to being late because she didn't want to put that money in. She's like, "Oh, did I miss it? Oh, dang it!"
No, she always comes in with a big Starbucks though. No, I'm just kidding. She
Yeah.
doesn't.
No.
It is funny people who show up late to something and they have a giant Starbucks in their hand, and it's like, okay, I see why you're late. You
Yeah,
have
that's why
priorities.
you're late. No, that wouldn't be it for sure.
That's funny.
But
That's not why you're late, Cindy. I know why you're late.
I had such a great thought, and y'all start talking about something else, about being late, and you
Your
can't
empty
get
jar.
in.
You have an empty jar.
Empty jar, and so why would they say the 10 virgins? What would that mean? Just young women?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
just young women never been married.
So I wasn't
Not experienced.
I wasn't
in
saying
every
I was
aspect
young
of it.
woman, but I was saying that going up there, and so it makes you want to be there on time, so you don't have to try and find somebody to walk around the whole church to.
Yeah.
Well, if
get
you
in.
donate enough, you can probably get your own chair.
If you get to that $1,000 a month sponsorship level,
Like you
no.
get a
that-
parking spot, you
for
get your
that
own
pew?
park.
No,
the
nothing like that.
private
But
pew?
it would be good to be on time though, Cindy. Just just to experience the entire service. It's
Well,
If
the
it was
first
just-
what really happens in the first 15 minutes? Like nothing really happens. That's when Connor speaks. Probably.
that's right. Yeah, that's usually when I get up and talk.
No, I have to be there for Connor. Connor gets up and does the announcements, and you just never know what he's going to say. It's just perfect. No, but Connor,
Because he
I gotta
stumbles
say,
on his words.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell-
I
I'm
say,
gonna
guys, we've all gathered here into this.
Oh, just like the
yeah, like the intro of the show.
like the intro to the show.
I think Cindy was doing an impression of me when she started the show
I'm
off.
gonna no. I'll throw down the.
You gotta call. Someone's gotta call Cindy out for getting in late. That's gotta be one of the fun. I love you, Cindy. I just think of this a vision of you trying to not make as much noise, but you're making the most noise you can
noise.
do.
And getting in
And
most
they're like, all right,
attention."
here's Mrs. Cochran. Thank you, Mrs. Cochran.
Thank you.
We always sit in the back though, so we don't bother anybody.
Yeah, your daughter saves you a spot, so you always have your spot
That's
reserved.
exactly right. And but let me ask you something. I
Changing gears.
I'm not. Yeah.
Changing gears.
She's like, stop focusing on me so much in my attendance.
I know it's like having Bob Smiley here. Like
Yeah.
I'll just invite Bob in. Y'all can get this all out of your system in one time. But if you would know how impressive that sermon was that you did.
Oh gosh, what are
He
you
got
doing?
up-
What are you doing? Why
he
are we
got
doing
up-
this?
no.
This is
What's
awesome.
his
He got
job?
up- He got no. You mean you don't think of him as being like the regular preacher? He comes
That's his
in
job, Cindy.
and he has to come in.
He's
and do
trained.
This. No, this is beyond that. I've listened to 75.
Should we go to a
years
commercial break?
worth
Should we
of-
go to?
So he's
worth
good at
of
his job.
preachers. But anyway, he got up and he did this sermon, and Sam was there, and Sam says he's going to preach. And I'm like, yeah, he's going to preach, and he said, have you ever heard him preach before? And no. I mean, I've heard him talk. Of course, yeah, he's great. So he does a sermon, and Sam of all people, we walk out of there. He said, that was good. He really did a good job. I am so impressed with him. I can't believe he
you
did such a
go.
good job.
That's a big
Why are you telling this story?
That's a
right
big
now?
prop.
doesn't
Yeah,
he-
thank you. I
Why
appreciate
doesn't he-
that.
I did text him right after. I always text if somebody's done a good job.
He's never
they need to be-
complimented me ever because I'm just a piece of trash.
best part about Cindy's family, it makes it makes it really confusing to tell stories because everybody's got the same names. So there's Sam and Samantha and Cindy and Christy's.
That's so true.
And Christy's name is Christy. So I mean, there's two names in one. So everybody's got the same name. So you really don't know who you're talking about when they tell a story.
So you're this amazing sermon you gave.
Yeah,
that's the right way to call it. It's called a sermon at the Church of Christ.
Yeah.
How long in front of the mirror did you practice?
Like just 3 weeks, probably 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah.
Do you have a thing where you have a video camera and you film yourself?
No,
let's get into the technique.
Yeah.
There are some preachers.
Unique New York. You have to get the palate really warmed up, you know, so you can say all the words just right.
When I used to have to interpret the sermons, I would go and say, "Can I get a copy of your sermon?" They went, "What?
What do you mean a copy?"
It's all right here. It's all right
here.
And I said, "Can you just give me a gist of what you're going to be talking about?" So I'll make sure I know how to sign or spell the words you're going to say. And it was, and that was really difficult to get that from somebody. And you seem like a lot of it extemporaneously. You're doing stuff and just going like it's off the top of my head. But that's great. I mean, that makes somebody listen to you even more than if they feel like you're reading it or this is stuff that you've written down and
comes from the heart.
I would say it's more like if you
or his wife had flashcards.
Yeah, she's in the back holding up it's like SNL. If you really know something, and I mean I always have notes and like I do bullet points. Some people write out like a transcript.
right.
And I don't know. I just never have done that. But I have bullet points. But if you have a bullet point with 5 or 6 words on it, and if you've practiced, and if you really know what it is you're trying to communicate, hopefully you can fill in the blanks of the bullet point. You know, like if you today you wanted to talk about favorite Easter memory, you didn't have to script out what you were going to say.
No.
Although maybe a few of the moments tonight, you should have would have probably the intro at least would have been a good start.
The intro.
But if you really know something, then you can just hopefully you can kind of fill in the blanks with it with practice and with knowing what it is you're trying to communicate.
But you're so young. You're so young.
Well,
And
I'm getting older.
He's
He's
not that young.
I'm not that young anymore.
He's so
He's
young.
not a virgin.
No.
Okay,
But
that's
when he first came on the show,
Well, no, we were talking about in the classical
he has
sense.
a baby.
In the classical
I do have
sense.
a-
Just
I do have
have
a
a
child.
baby. Yes, he has a child.
Well, I was saying in the classical sense, where
Right.
from
Have
the
a
book
child,
in the
have-
Bible, it also meant like they're young,
Yes.
Yes,
they're not experienced.
Yes, you're not experienced. No, but you lack all that old world, experience and background and stuff. But you come across so well versed, but you're able to connect to the young kids and the adults and all, and all. So
thank
it's
you.
really good. And I don't mean to embarrass you. I just want people to know that kind of talent is not just anybody could do that.
Well, I'm gonna come check it out.
Well, come on, man. Anytime.
I just need to know when he's playing.
Do you know? Yeah, we'll have to have the manager release the lineup and see what the dates are.
No, I really do. I'm very interested to come see.
Well, that'd be awesome. I'd love that.
With just you.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Definitely not anything.
If there was
else.
some audible called, I'm out. This isn't Connor. I'm out of here, guys.
We'll save a place for you. I promise.
Yeah, if any of the listeners ever need to pick me up, just ask Cindy to come be a guest on the show, and she'll just tell you all the things you do great. And so that's really nice. Thank
See?
you. Yeah.
No, but you should be told that. I think you should be praised.
Well, it's because
I
he's
think
trying to
God-
gun for that position, the head dog. That's why he's doing so good. He's like, see how good I am? See how bad you are?
No.
If
The
y'all
dog
just-
eat dog in the pulpit,
That's
man.
right. You got to
y'all
take them
would
out.
just- I'm having to go over to the
I'm throwing
Ark.
banana peels in the hallways and stuff, trying to knock people out.
I'm having to go over to the Ark to connect with the deaf people. So if y'all would just let me interpret once in a while and bring in some deaf people to the service,
You
then
have to bring your own deaf people to be able to interpret.
well, I had somebody would need to
I
be
mean,
there.
that's-
Probably would be good. I mean, I interpreted at Grace Crossing for so long, and there was not one deaf person there because most of the deaf people would go to a place where it's a deaf preacher or something like that. But Abby was there. Abby
yeah,
Cox was
okay.
there,
So there's
and
somebody.
she's going to be on the show for sure. I'm gonna have her.
Good.
On Tuesday, I dedicated just to the deaf. So I just
Every
signed.
Tuesday is just for the deaf.
It's just for the deaf. I sign, and everybody goes, "Wait a minute, on radio you do this?" But we're talking at the same time.
Okay.
As we sign, we talk.
Sometimes
And
it's kind of 50-50.
She forgets to talk sometimes.
Someone did mention that to me. It's like you could tell when she starts talking and not signing, and then she starts signing and not talking.
it slows
Do you ever
me
have a?
down
Let me ask you
bit.
this question. Let's talk about your sign language for a minute because I had a couple thoughts about this earlier this morning. so I've heard that people who speak 2 languages, like
Right.
audibly 2 languages, will, if you're really fluent, like say you're fluent in Spanish and English, and you go live in Mexico for a while, that after a while your dreams will start to be in Spanish or both languages. Have you ever had like a sign language dream?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I would talk. I mean, I was always.
So you're talking and
talking
signing.
and signing at the same time.
Is that kind of the norm for the community? Like if you are somebody who can talk and hear, I guess. Because some deaf people can talk, right?
Right.
But if you can hear and talk, do you talk and sign? Is that the standard, or do you just sign if you're talking to somebody else who's?
It just depends. I mean, a lot of people don't like to do that because they feel like if
Come on, hit us with some stuff here. Come on.
If I'm talking and signing at the same time,
Yeah.
then it will be
Like
difficult
distracting?
to understand or to try and separate. No, that's not the right word. I need to
Because
sign
sometimes the
this.
sign word might be
Different,
something,
will be
but the
different than
spoken word's a little
English.
bit different.
Yeah, and so, but I sign exact English, and ASL is not that way. ASL.
So you're
is
not
more-
ASL.
I don't. That's what that girl.
Do you
I
know
had to tell
ASL?
that girl. No, this girl said, I bet you sign ASL more than you do sign English. And I said, well, I don't know because I never learned ASL. But ASL, American Sign Language,
Yeah.
is done where there's more. They do more acting out of what they want to say than just signing the words.
So it'd be like
Words,
a
it's-
like an action represents a phrase or something
right.
like that.
It's like. What's this word?
Miming?
I know the sign, but I can't know. It's like
Combining?
Condensing. Yeah, condensing.
How do you say?
the
How do you
language.
sign? How do you say? Because I feel like people, people from other countries. How do you say?
Coffee. That's
What?
very good. That's coffee.
Oh, I was trying to do the
I
thing
thought
you
it was
just did.
pepper grinder.
Yeah.
No,
What were you doing? Combine, condense.
Combined, like condense this.
This is coffee?
These two. This is coffee. Like grinding the coffee.
Oh, that's my
Yeah,
favorite.
so no wrist turning.
Yeah.
It's
It's like the mortar and the pestle. Like I'm.
Yeah.
This is this is coffee and sugar, and if you need cream, and so I don't know what all you have.
I
in
thought
your-
this was you got something on your.
yeah, this is
That's sweet.
you got a little Subway on your lip from lunch. No, you
know,
don't. I'm just kidding.
Don't ever eat a bowl of meatballs before you get
That's
on
what she
the
brought
radio.
in.
You said you were going to Subway.
I went to
They
Subway.
they serve a bowl of meatballs. That's
They
an
do.
option on the Subway menu.
No, they do to me though, because I said,
I'm not kidding
"You got a bowl?
I was
you got
like,
meatballs? Can you put
she's
them
so
in mine?"
she's
Let's make a deal here. You got a bowl. You got meatballs. How can we combine those two things?
Go to
please?
Chick-fil-A and ask for a root beer float. It is hilarious. They'll say,
That sounds
"You want a
disgusting.
root beer float?" We don't do that here. And I said, I got one. I got root beer floats 3 times last week, and they went. Just a moment, please. And they go back and they talk. I don't know who they're asking. And somebody says, okay, all right.
All you gotta say is, will it bring you pleasure, please, to make me a root beer
Well,
float?
Cindy refuses to acknowledge that some of these restaurants
Are staffed by 14-year-old?
are no, they're staffed to the point where they're do what they're told.
Yeah.
So they don't have a button for root beer float.
Yeah.
That's
So that's
exactly
what
right.
throws them off. It's like literally a robot going, does not compute, does not compute. So
When you serve 1,000 people an hour like Chick-fil-A,
Yeah,
it's like,
and
I
do you want
asked
nuggets or a sandwich? Quit asking for a root beer float. What are you trying to do to us here?
But I asked them. I said, "You got
you have
ice cream,
soda,
right?
you have ice cream.
and you've got root beer.
So
Just dunk the ice cream out into the
Or-
root beer."
Why don't you just order an ice cream and a root beer and then you
and you
do
do it, yeah. That's what I don't
Because I'm
get.
driving, and so I'm not going to try and make a root beer float.
I mean,
it? Well, you need to look up their ingredient list and be like, what can you come up with that would throw
Yeah,
them for a
that is-
loop? Like, what can I order that they have all the materials for, but yeah, it's not on their menu.
well, because for a root beer float to be good, you have to put the ice cream first, right?
That is true.
That's right.
So you just say, hey, can you put some ice cream in a cup, and then just sprinkle some root beer
No,
on
actually,
it.
you need about that much root beer. Then you put the ice cream in. Then you pour the.
So now
other
you're getting
root
too
beer on top of
technical.
it. And that's good.
Does that keep it from foam? My biggest beef with root beer
Right.
floats is the foam.
That's right.
Not the root beer?
Well, the root beer is good. So if you do the root beer first and then the ice cream and then the root beer, it doesn't foam as
And
bad.
then, no, it's bad. No.
Wow.
She's an expert.
Hey, hot tip.
And she's, it's funny. I believe that she orders it in the car, and she probably eats it before she even leaves Chick-fil-A.
No comment. I plead the fifth. I don't have to incriminate myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cindy, another question I have for you. What
Yes,
time is
okay.
it here? Okay, we got time.
Yeah.
So, I brought this up earlier, and I know you probably love to talk about it, or maybe I don't know, but you were on Johnny Carson's show back in the day.
No.
What year was that?
Were you doing root beer floats then?
That was 1983.
1983.
Oh, that's
June
not long
28th.
ago.
I wasn't born yet, but it's not that long ago. 1983, June 20th. You remember the day like it was only yesterday? I thought it was 2 times. Was it only 1 time?
2 times.
2 times. So they weren't both on June 28th.
No.
Were you
no.
married at the time?
Yes.
That's why he only invited you 2 times.
But you were doing Signing with Cindy, but it was a Houston local area show, right?
He's afraid of Sam.
No, it was national
So your show was national
on PBS. Yeah.
on PBS. So here's my question: like, what, like, because I feel like you were on the breaking point of like being kind of famous. Like you were on the Johnny Carson show. That's pretty big deal.
Well, she was famous to deaf people.
Yeah,
Like
famous.
Right.
most deaf people who run into her know who she is.
Is that real? Is that true?
Yeah.
Like if a random deaf person walks by, they see you, it's like, oh my gosh, Cindy
Depends on
Cochran.
how old they are. I mean,
Okay, the older deaf people.
Yeah. And that's why I went to the Ark, and there were a lot of deaf people there, and they were
like a
going
celebrity.
like, "Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy."
Because you would dance and sing or something. What would you do?
Yeah.
Like was it
Yeah,
kind of like a
your dad-
Richard Simmons, like a like were you like a unitard,
That's
like dancing
just
around?
the time period.
Yes, it was
A lot of energy, and she would do solos.
But I'm saying, what was the thing that was missing in your career to take you to like international fame?
She couldn't
maybe-
really sing.
no, maybe
The
it was
fact that
like,
it was
what
only-
was,
it was only sign
what
language?
Was the additional thing. Sam was probably the additional.
Well, no. Okay, don't take this the wrong way, Cindy. Is
Okay.
Oh, this is not going to be a compliment.
during those shoots, if I remember, I can bring them up. I can show people them because they're on YouTube.
It's really cool to watch. Like
But
you're sitting there talking to Johnny Carson. He's the
No,
most
I'm
famous
talking
guy
about.
in the world.
I'm talking about signing with Cindy.
Oh, okay.
You weren't really singing
No, I was
during this
lip-syncing.
performance. Yeah.
Right.
So that's so.
But during that time, that was the first time that music videos were on TV. We had the
Yeah.
first music video.
You had the very first music video on TV.
Yes, it was in
this is
81.
like these are facts that people don't know. Like that's a big deal.
But when you ask her the question, like, what prevented
Yeah.
your success? It's like you can only copy people so many times,
like a cover band.
until you start doing your own thing.
But
And
okay,
s-
Go ahead.
I lip synced everything. The fan mail that I would get,
Mm-hmm.
people would say, "I can't believe you can sound just like John Denver and Ann,
Oh, yeah.
whatever that
You have a lot of
lady's name
range.
is." They said, "You
and you
are
should have just gone
amazing."
with it. You should have been like Vanilli guys and just be like,
I said,
yeah, thank
"Thanks,
you.
thanks,
Yeah.
thanks,
I have a-
thanks." I was the worst about answering fan mail, and they would get so mad at me, and I go like, "Well, because it's so." People from
You just-
Rikers prison would write and stuff, and they'd say, "When I get out, I'm going to come see you because you just helped me so much. I've been able to watch you during
Those are the ones you kept, right?
prison." in
Why would
prison."
somebody from? I mean, what would be the benefit to a prisoner from watching your sign language show?
No, they would because they learned sign language. They
Because you're
learned
teaching. It's not just for people who know how to sign. It was for anybody.
No, this was for hearing
Have you not
people that
seen the
wanted to learn
show?
sign language.
I've seen clips of it. It's been a long time.
So she doesn't do necessarily like the whole song. She does a lot of the chorus over and over because it's the same thing for the chorus. So she that's from what I understood was
Right.
you would do a lot of the chorus over and over,
Right.
Because that was the easiest thing to teach.
Well, we did a lot of different songs throughout the series, but I would always end with teaching some more of Sunshine on My Shoulder. So I wanted everybody to know that by the time it was over. And I was in Chicago when we were walking down the sidewalk, and the Chicago Post or whatever, the big newspaper, they were having a strike. And it was all the deaf people that worked in the newspaper that were striking, and they were all out there with signs and stuff. And so I was walking through them, and we were looking up, and this guy comes over and says, "You're Cindy Cochran."
Oh, here we go. Is that you?
Yeah, that's the main event. And my tough and
Here,
rough
I'm gonna pull it up
backup
for her.
singer, backup dancer.
I like the little.
But see how she's doing it? Like she's doing it very slow,
Ooh, I like that
and
one.
you're getting.
But I'm getting ready to go fast.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
right.
Oh, come on! Oh, look at these guys. Are y'all in some gymnasium somewhere? Where are y'all?
Houston.
Yeah.
What venue is this?
I mean, what's the school?
Is it a school?
It's the school. Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're
look
in
at
the
those guys.
gym.
Oh man, where'd you find these guys from?
See the guy on the right with the orange
This is
shirt
kind
on?
of freaky. Is that Sam?
Is that Sam? please tell me that's Sam.
No, he's a choreographer. He's a choreographer.
Did you hire these guys?
I didn't. He found them and brought them in, and then we just rehearsed.
I mean,
the
you're
song.
doing a good job here.
Yeah,
I
you're really
think.
going. Do you still got these moves, Cindy? You still?
Oh yeah.
Can you guys stand by the TV and show us A side-by-side comparison.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Don't you?
How did you get
dare.
started with this? I mean, I probably have heard this whole story before, but I don't remember it. How
Well,
did
she
you
only
get,
has 3 minutes, so she better tell it real fast.
How did you get started? Does it end at 2:55?
Yeah.
We started late though. Can't we go long? I mean,
We
come
can go
on.
longer.
What,
We can
what
go
kind
longer.
of
I don't
time
have,
police
I don't have
over
to go
here?
anywhere.
Yes.
And I've taken up a lot of her time.
How did you get started? Like, I mean, so you were somebody who knew how to sign.
Right. I interpreted the news for the deaf on Channel 13.
So that's how you got started, was interpreting the news.
Yes. And then
And that was just like you applied for it, and it was like, hey, anybody who can sign, come try out.
no, I wouldn't ask them about doing this, and
So
and
you
we
were
had
calling them.
meetings
You were
and
calling
stuff.
them saying, hey,
Yeah.
you
And so I
need
had to
you need help.
explain.
Okay.
I had to explain how many people that are hearing impaired in the Houston area and all that stuff. But what I did.
Why don't they do it now? Because it's just
I found out-
subtitle technology. Has subtitles kind of replaced that need?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And but the thing that was weird was that they didn't want to do anything like that because they thought that it would be insulting, And so I had to talk them, like kind of talk them into
like
it.
convince them.
Is what
So they just didn't want to pay you.
they didn't pay me.
Oh.
I told them I
Well,
said
how would it
do
be
this
insulting?
Like for deaf people to see that as if like
because
it was like
they
pandering
just
to them
thought-
or something.
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
know why they had no idea.
So you mean at that
They
time they're
never-
like, we'd rather not even cater to deaf people
they had no
because
idea.
we don't
but-
want to be pandering to them?
But apparently, when they got back together, they said, guys, FCC licensing is coming up. And everything the FCC is looking for is that we're doing things for our community. This would be the thing to do, is to do the news for the deaf
Like
and have
Lone
somebody
Star
sign it.
Community Radio.
So every
Interesting.
7 years, the FCC, license for the different TV stations and stuff, and that's when you need to be going in and getting something done because they're
Something to show that
looking
we're doing
for it.
something good.
So
Yes,
they
they're-
call you every 8 years.
Yes, and then they put you on, and I didn't know they had people watching you to see what your favorability would be, and if they don't think people think that you're good or like you or you're likable or anything like that,
you the
then
axe. Yeah,
they
you're
give you the
done.
axe. So I thought this was funny because they told me later, they said that you had a good high favorability, and I said, well, that would be really weird if they try to give the axe to somebody that's trying to interpret the news for the deaf people and that they're going to throw them out. But I just didn't know all that stuff behind the scenes that was going on, and which helped get everything done. I mean, God made it all happen.
So then that turned into signing with Cindy.
Well, no, I went to Channel 8 and told them that I'm getting so many requests for teaching classes on sign language. I'd like to do a TV program if it'd be okay, and then I don't have to do as many classes. And they go like, well, what would you want to do? And now they knew who I was and that I did sign language on Channel 13, so that gave me a lot of cred for them.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, well, we'll talk about it. And they said,
I want to sign some music with some cool dancers in the background. And then there's guys like boxing too. This is a really interesting gym setup.
Now
What
see the
song were
guys
y'all-
in the back, they're
Yeah.
real boxers. These guys in
Were y'all
the
doing
front.
was this a boxing song or were they always boxing?
I
in the
can't
back?
play the
It's called
song.
Main Event.
Oh, it get kicked off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
the-
I see.
It's the song and the words of the song. It
All right,
makes
last
sense.
question about your life, Cindy, or you can talk more if you want. But who? And this maybe you can plead the fifth. Who's the most famous person that you still have in your cell phone right now, based on from your old time as a media mogul?
Nobody.
Nobody. You lost.
Me.
They didn't have phones.
Me.
They didn't have.
Yeah, but you don't keep up. I mean, you don't have like there's some. Oh, what's this
Oh,
one?
you got that Channel 13 guy, that
This is
weirdo.
called,
This is like The Hills Are Alive or something.
Darling, feeling pretty lonesome.
Can she sing it? Is it okay if she sings
No,
it?
I'm
Will
trying to
This
the,
is
think.
why
I'm
she,
trying to-
will the algorithm catch her?
She wasn't a, what do you call it in
what's her
baseball? A
name?
five
Tool player.
five tool player.
This is
She could hit, but not
this
with
is
power.
called Darling, and
Okay.
it's Reba McEntire.
There you go.
And so, and the cows in the background.
I'm not
there's-
showing this to the people. Just so you
Oh,
know.
they can't see it. Oh, okay.
They can't see it. Oh,
I'll show. I'll give them a little preview.
The cows was that real
Yeah.
cows in the background or was
real
green
cows,
screen?
and they're moving their head just along with the music. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
They're so cute. But it was so much fun to do because the people that write these letters were so sweet and like, you've helped my life.
Well, they probably never had anybody do that kind of thing before.
No, but I couldn't write them back. I just couldn't. I couldn't
Yeah.
sit
Well,
down and write them back.
It was also like the perfect age of technology where there really wasn't anything visual, and sign language is such a visual thing. It's like you could get a book, but that book would be like this thick.
Yeah,
because they have to show every single hand motion.
And closed caption hadn't come through yet. I watch TV with closed captioning on. I don't know why I've gotten to where I love it.
I do too, because I don't miss any words.
I know.
Because they're going like, I told you this, and I'm telling you this one more time.
The best part of closed captioning
and you're
is
like, what did you say?
when the back, like if somebody walks into like a bar,
yeah.
and there's like all the murmuring of all the people.
Right.
The closed captioning will like say what they're actually saying, like in the corners of the room, and so you'll catch some little pieces that the average person wouldn't get.
The worst in a movie is when the stars walk up to a helicopter or an airplane that's getting ready to take off, and they have their most important conversation and scripting right then, and go like, "You guys."
Well, whoever sound mixes action movies, it's like they don't remix it for television, so you get like the theater mix, and then you're at your house, and so you got to turn it down to like volume 3 when the bombs are going off, and then like the love scene will happen next, and they'll be like, so you got to turn it up to 25, and then all of a sudden, right as they kiss, another bomb goes off, and then your house is shaking, and your kids are waking up. I wish that they could do that a little bit differently, but they don't really seem to care.
They don't care. I just want to see John Wick's 4.
Oh my gosh, John Wick! What's this one called?
4.
Quantumanium?
Oh.
No, that's
What's the
Ant-Man.
name of it is?
Honestly, I don't even know what it's called.
Quadrilateral. It's got a weird name like that. It's got a name like John Wick. Yeah, Quadrilateral.
This
John
4,
Wick.
John Wick 4. Like,
John Wick. Wick Harder or something.
Equilibrium or
Parabellum was the third one.
yeah.
And he keeps following me, and Keanu Reeves, and he keeps following me and trying to get me to follow him back, and I just don't
What are you talking about?
want to do that. You were asking me who my most famous person
yeah, he's in your phone. Yeah, he keeps texting
Keanu
you.
Reeves
Yeah, Keanu, come
wants
on.
me to follow him.
You know his name is Hawaiian for like beautiful wind or something like that. I don't know. It means something like that. It's really
That's
nice.
cool, I
Yeah,
guess.
A little factoid, just something to leave you with. Yeah, something to leave you with.
Is he going to be in the new Maui movie or whatever? What's it called?
Are they making is that like Moana Part 2 or something?
They're making a live action of it.
Oh, is The Rock playing it?
I get. They made an announcement. I
How
was
does
like,
he do all the things? How does he have any time? I don't know.
he didn't have to do anything.
I just
He's
wish
just
he'd
told
wash-
what to do.
He just washes hair once, because his hair's always greasy.
You're talking
or
about
wet. He's
Keanu.
always wet.
Oh, Keanu. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, The Rock doesn't have hair.
Yeah, I was like, I think he's bald. Wish he'd wash his hair. That's kind of rude. He probably wishes he could too.
Okay, I'm just so slow on the uptake. Okay, I have to play the stroke card once in a while, and so
I mean, that's a back pocket move right there. I love it. I didn't
yeah.
even see it coming.
Yeah, and there's really nothing else. Like, it's a conversation stopper. Okay. Yep. All right.
Is that what happened in the intro?
Oh, a little. Okay.
no, yeah, that's probably what happened in the intro.
Yeah.
That was it. That was
Now
it.
I'm worried about
sorry.
you, Cindy. Should I be worried?
No, when I first started doing this, I'd just gotten through doing all this strokes and
I answer the phone, "You're alive?"
quadruple. And he said, "So, what would be my first clue that you're getting ready to have a stroke?" Is that you-
Bowl of meatballs. That would be it.
I love you, Cindy.
If I ever come in with a bowl of meatballs, call 911.
Oh no, she comes with a bag of spaghetti, dude. Like, she's wild.
Yeah.
I love it, Cindy.
I know it's so. Richard and I have the best relationship, don't we?
Yeah, I love it. I look forward to it. And like when she calls me at 3 a.m., I love it.
I didn't mean
when
to.
she
I
accidentally,
put the phone down and it hit his number, and I'm looking over and I went, "Oh my!"
well, see, I don't want to be rude because usually when she calls me, it's like at 7 o'clock, like right when we're like having dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who would call someone during dinner? That's so rude. But then I'm like, it could be Cindy. Something could be wrong. So I always answer it. And then,
So sweet.
and then it got worse. She started calling me like at 9 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm getting in bed. Who would call when I'm getting in bed? That's so rude. And I'm like, oh, it's Cindy. Oh, something's wrong. I better answer it.
But the worst is
And then
when I
she
call
calls me
on Wednesday
at 3 a.m..
At 6
She
p.m.
calls
and
me
he's
at
getting ready
3
to bowl, and he's bowling, and he goes, "Just let it ring. Just let it ring."
Oh, and then I
Nobody messes with the Richard.
Yeah, Richard
well, no,
was bowling.
she calls me during bowling at that exact time, every single time. And I'm like, Cindy, what do you think I'm doing right now?
Richard, what's your high score?
I think 278. I think that's my
That's pretty good. That's
But
pretty good. Bowled at 279 one time. I was on the high school bowling team.
279?
I've lost my skill. I'm very mediocre
did
now.
you just do 1 pin up on me?
Yeah. What's your high score? what's your high score? Yeah, mine's one more than that.
So fast.
I think it's 279. I had 7 strikes, 9 spare, and then strikes the rest of the way out. I think that's 279. But yeah, I was 1 pin off. But yeah, I bowled super competitively all through high school, and then quit. And I lost my bowling balls, and now I'm not.
Now he's married and it's.
Now you're married. And you
I can
have
go throw a
kids.
150 every now and then.
tell-
I can throw a 200 accidentally, but pretty rare.
Giving these inspirational things every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not
Go-
every Sunday, right?
Go-
No, I'm pretty.
So he gets up and does
I'm like
announcements
4
a
times a
lot.
year. 4 times a
So you
year.
don't even work.
What?
You only work 4 times a year?
Yeah, full time salary, 4 times a year is all I do. No, I mean there's a lot of other parts of my job than just
Yeah.
that.
I'm
just kidding.
Yeah,
He's
no,
like
I'm
church.
I just kidding.
yeah.
So where can I
Tell
go to
me-
hear you?
Tell me the. Well, as soon as he
YouTube.
finds. Yeah, he's on YouTube.
I mean, we've got a
to
channel,
Conroe
Conroe Church of Christ, YouTube. You have to. I don't know how you'd find them because they don't label them by the speaker, so you may have to watch 20 or 30 of them before you before you find them.
Let me talk to your media person. That's terrible.
Find out. Oh shoot!
Is it?
No. Tell me the names of your family. Okay, your wife's name is.
We do have to eventually wrap this up.
Yeah, let's-
Okay, let me just say hi to the family. Okay.
Yeah, hi. It's my wonderful wife Lindsay, and then we have Ellen Jude, who just had their birthdays, and then we have our 2.5-year-old Charlotte, who is crazy. So that is our
2.5 years
Fine.
ago.
You say Ellen Jude?
Elle and Jude.
So two
different-
people.
Yeah. So Elle just turned 12. Jude just turned 9.
So he married a ready-made family. I mean, he already had. There were two.
Yeah.
Like
Ellen's
the Mark Wahlberg
and-
family?
Yeah.
Or that movie he was in?
Ready-made.
Yeah. What's that
yeah.
called? Instant Family.
It's the family? Is that what you're talking about?
That's what
no,
he
I'm just
got.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, married into some kids, but it's been a blast and super busy. And we had a third, and that's been really exciting and fun, but also crazy and stressful and all those things. So, yeah,
But you're
life is
perfect
full.
Now you can be the family minister.
Yeah.
So they hear you practice all the time. They're like, practice in front of us, Daddy.
No, what's funny is sometimes like my wife will want me to like practice in front of her, and I can't do it. It's too awkward. I don't know. There's something funny where it's like I'd be much more comfortable getting up in front of like 600 people and doing it than in front of like 1 or 2. It's much more like there's something like it's too vulnerable. I'm not looking for that direct feedback, you know. It's like, and if it's not,
Oh, this guy shifted.
yeah,
great.
and also like until it's done, it's not done. So you don't want to like pull the cake out of the oven early, you know.
Right,
You got to kind of let it
right.
bake all the way through before you open yourself up.
Good
So
analogy.
Cindy Land is playing. Let's go. What do
Okay,
you think?
Here we go. I want to thank our sponsor, Chris Wootton, Wootton Financial.
Way to go,
Group.
Wootton. You have a sponsor, Chris Wooten?
Yes.
Hey.
Do you know Chris
No,
Wooten?
I don't, but that's really great.
Everybody
that
knows
he's-
Chris Wooten.
I do, yeah. He's wonderful. Love him.
No, but if you need any financial help with your retirement, be sure and I know God's got
Yeah,
great coverage
yeah,
of
But we
retirement.
still got to be stewards, though. We still got to take
Yeah.
care of our money.
That's right. That's right. So you go see the Wootton Financial Group. And listen, guys, we're going to have a great time next week. I have no idea who's going to be on. But
You
Chris,
have
but
Peyton on tomorrow. They just responded.
They responded.
responded
I've
to
got
me.
an 8th grader or
Yeah, she's an 8th grader going to be performing at the Conroe Crossroads.
8th graders is going to be performing on Crossroads.
There's
Conroe
42
Crossroads.
shows, 11 venues with one city at the Conroe
Yeah, she's one
Crossroads.
of them. She goes to Covenant
Thank you.
Conroe, Covenant Christian in Conroe.
What does she play? Is she an instrument?
Guitar. Yeah, she's a singer-songwriter.
Oh,
So
sweet.
she's a singer-songwriter in 8th grade, and so she's going to be on, not tomorrow, on Tuesday.
I asked her tomorrow because you go, can you get her tomorrow?
She's not going to be tomorrow. She's going to be on next.
She's going to be tomorrow.
No, she's not.
You're kidding me right now. You literally told me to ask for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. Because I don't have a Thursday. I thought I had a Thursday, but I don't have a Thursday.
These are great on-air conversations for y'all to be.
Well, no, like we literally had this conversation right before. I was like, do you want me to ask right now? Or I can get her.
Tomorrow, we have Peyton.
Woo!
What's her last name?
Should you say it? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think her stage name, let me give you a
there we
second.
go.
Peyton. Peyton.
Peyton Riley.
Peyton Riley?
That's her stage name.
Okay. Peyton
She's-
Riley would be here. She's 8th
Yeah,
grade.
she's on
singer-songwriter.
Spotify. She's on all
Oh,
that
no
stuff. So
way.
if you want to check her
Okay.
out.
Oh, check her out on Spotify, and check her out tomorrow, right here, 2:00, live streaming into your home.
Into your ear sockets.
Look, Okay, all right. Anyway, first responders, we love you so much. We respect you. We think you're awesome, and thank you for being there for us at all times. Okay, everybody, have a good day, night.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
Are you interested in learning